Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Ultimate Nightmares run, where we take the characters that are hardest to beat on the new Nightmare mode, as chosen by you, and try to win with them. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Saver, which is one of the worst characters in the game on lower difficulties, and that's exacerbated on higher difficulties because more expensive items makes it harder to stay ahead of enemy damage. The Saver, I think, has a couple approaches that you can take. You can use something like Thief Dagger or Sickle to try to get a lot of economy and use the bonus damage that you get from holding materials. Even though this is inefficient, it's still pretty powerful once you stack up a bunch of them. You can use a powerful weapon like Spear, which gives you just a lot of early value. Or you can go for a very cheap weapon like Pistol or Wand and try to use the fact that it's cheap to overcome the increased item price. I think what I'm going to do to start is go with Spear. Spear is generally what I recommend on the Saver, and I think probably that's true on Nightmare mode as well, though of course we'll see if this one works out. The way that this character functions, we need to collect a lot of materials, and so we're hoping to... I really messed up my movement there. I should have had 4 extra enemy kills if I'd positioned myself correctly. I also don't really want to roll here, but I do want harvesting, because I need to get harvesting growth in order to get enough money so that our piggy bank can start giving us good income quickly. We'll lock a coupon here, we'll buy a spear, we'll ban feather, and then I will roll, and I'll buy another spear. Although we do want to save money on this character for the piggy bank, we still need to buy our weapons early on. And then we'll re-roll here, and I'll leave all of this in the pool. Go to the next wave. The main challenge here is going to be getting enough defensive stats. The advantage of using Spear as a weapon is that this is just an extremely powerful weapon early. So it's going to give us the opportunity to invest a little more greedily in economy, to save a little bit more money. So that's why I like it, even though it's pretty expensive, which is even worse on the Saver. I'm going to just take 2 melee damage here, because I don't want to spend too much re-rolling if possible. Unfortunately, we've just been offered a lot of bad options, but I'll take an armor. I'm going to ban the mutation and then re-roll, buy a spear, ban the lens, and then re-roll, and we can lock another spear. Baby Gecko, we do want to pick up extra materials. We don't care really at all about range, so I'm debating whether I want to ban this. I think that it's pretty safe to leave it in the pool here, because we might want it later, but I'm not going to lock it, because early on we should still be able to pick up all the materials. But material pickup, I have found, at least when you're playing on full projectile mode in Nightmare, is a little better than on lower difficulties, because it can be somewhat difficult to pick up all the money. Obviously, the extra projectiles restrict your movement a lot. Here, I'm going to take the cake for sure, and then I could take another armor. I also really want attack speed, but let's just pick up an armor here, and then I'll take 8 harvesting. I'm going to buy the coupon and the spear, and we'll lock banner. Bat, I could buy, but it would lower my harvesting. I think I'm actually just going to ban this, and then I'll re-roll looking for a spear. And we'll buy a cake. I'm spending my money even though... Oh, and we don't want to buy Ritual, because you never want to buy percent damage on this character, or almost never, since every time you spend money on percent damage, you would have had some of that just by keeping the money, and by keeping the money, it grows with the piggy bank. I will re-roll again to look for another spear, which I missed on, but I'll lock a helmet, because of course we're going to want more armor. Next wave, I'm going to start saving money, because I need to start growing my bank. Otherwise, we just won't be able to buy things. The increased item prices scale so fast that if you aren't getting a ton of money from the Saver's passive of starting with a piggy bank, you're just going to get in a lot of trouble. I do think I need to clear the curse alien here, and we'll try to pick up some of these. You could, on some weak runs, you can try not getting curse, but we're on the Abyss, so we're probably going to want curse. And a cursed weapon or item is one of the ways that we could actually get quite a bit more powerful. I'm going to take one more harvesting item, and then I'm going to buy the helmet, and we'll ban head injury, because we don't want to spend money on percent damage. I'm going to leave banner locked, because I do want that, but I have to reroll for a spear here. And I'll roll again. We'll lock a coupon, ban the book. I'll do one more reroll, lock a spear. So I'm going to just lock this because I want to save about 100 materials. And at least we have 4 good items locked. You're going to end up with items locked a lot on the saver, which is important because with the increased item price that this character suffers from, the inflation, the price inflation as you go up in wave number is even more painful for this character than for other characters. So by locking items, you can hold off on the inflation a little bit, since you lock in the price from the lower wave. That first Curse Alien not dropping any materials was pretty brutal as well. This being wave 5, enemies are no longer guaranteed to drop materials. Getting a crate is especially nice on this character, since your items are more expensive, so a crate is correspondingly more valuable. I'll take a wheelbarrow, and then it takes the 9 max HP. We will buy a coupon and a spear, and then do I reroll for 5? I think I'm just going to hold my money. I'm trying to hold at around 200. My goal in these early waves is ideally I want to increase my principal by approximately 100 every wave. And then we can get a little more greedy later on. For now, this is not a meaningful amount of damage that we're getting from the Saver's passive, because we just don't have enough money, and it sounds like you're going to get a lot of damage from it, but 1 damage for every 25 material just does not work out to being a lot of actual damage increase most of the time. I desperately need some attack speed. That's why we're having to play so cagey right now, but we'll kill the tree. Left a lot of materials on the ground, unfortunately. We'll take 2 armor here, and then I'm just going to pick up 5 attack speed because I need it so badly. Here, I'm going to lock all of these items. The penguin is still worth buying, and at least we have a little more attack speed because I picked up the banner, so we should still be able to clear the wave. I need to be very aggressive about picking up materials this wave, since I left so many on the ground last wave. But wave 6 is always going to be a challenging wave because of the just the mix of enemies. This cursed healer is definitely putting a lot of pressure on as well, because we weren't able to easily kill it, and that meant that it healed the walrus like twice. And every tick of these healers is 100 healing, so it's a full round of attacks that we have to do again, basically, before we can kill an enemy. Picking up some consumables, and at least I got 1 of those tree kills, and we did get a crate out of it, and we'll take the plant here. We'll take 3 armor, and then I will buy a spear and a banner. Can I afford to save 400? I would really love to be able to, and I think I kind of have to, and we'll lock the coffee here and go to the next wave. Because, again, we need to build up our bank with this character so that we can make enough money to overcome the increased pricing. But basically, starting on wave 4, my goal for this character is to try to save 100 materials every wave. And if we can manage that, then we should have a reasonable amount of income by the mid-game. While not giving up too many enemy kills, because, of course, not buying items makes you weaker. And so you need to balance trying to save money on this character with trying to not make your character unplayably weak. Especially because, as the saver, yes, you have an economy gimmick. Oh, I was really hoping to kill that Curse Alien. Yes, you have an economy gimmick on this character, but most characters with economy gimmicks, they don't get money from enemies. They have like 50% material reduction from enemies. This character does not. You still need to be clearing stuff in order to get actual income. All right, so very happy to buy that. I'll buy the cauldron as well. That's pretty nice. Do I want to try to jump up? So we saved 400 last wave. I could try to jump up to 600 this wave. And I think I will. I'm going to roll here. The wisdom should be a decent amount of damage. This is a pretty efficient item. So we'll take that. And I will do one more reroll looking for another spear. Do I want a Vorpal sword? This is a way we could potentially kill elites. It costs me some damage on, or cost me the primitive weapon tag a little bit, but Vorpal Sword potentially killing elites is pretty helpful. That said, I don't have the healing really to get close to elites to allow the Vorpal Sword to hit them, but I also don't have the damage to kill them with my spears right now. I think for 300 it's too expensive to invest in that, but it's definitely worth considering. Really hoping that I find like a +6 melee damage level up. That's something that we could really use here. I've managed to put together a decent amount of armor. We have 7, which is not amazing, but for this point in the run on a really low economy character like the Saver, isn't bad. Gonna take a couple hits here and then take a little more damage. I really want to make my way into the center of the map and grab those materials, but I took too many hits and I wasn't able to. I would love the armor, I would love the luck, but I think I have to take the melee damage here, and then I'll take the % damage, and then I will buy the wisdom here, and I'll buy the tree, and we'll try to save 800. Do I want the blood leech? I think I do, and I'll roll. Unfortunately, with double banner, I can't take the cursed coil. This would be a really good option if I could take it, but and would justify all the curse that we've gotten as well, but unfortunately not playable here. I'm going to lock it, though, because I'm going to buy these other 3 items, and then we can ban it for a reroll. Yeah, that +4 melee damage was pretty important, so very happy that I have that. And our damage over the wave should be increasing as well, because we have the wisdom. Well, will be increasing, not should. Which should hopefully make it a little easier for us to clear the larger groups of enemy spawns near the end game, or the end of the wave. Also, because we are going to be killing elite slowly, if at all, I feel like wisdom is a good pickup. Because usually the downside of wisdom is it makes it slower to kill elites. But given that this is a low damage run, having the potential to maybe kill an elite late in the wave is pretty good. Can I get that loot alien? Really wish I could have gotten that. We'll recycle the pumpkin here. My % damage, I could increase more by having more money. I could also increase it just by buying some here. But let's take 4 melee damage, because we are boosting our % damage. And then we'll buy these items. We'll ban the coil for a reroll. And I will do the reroll. And then I'm going to spend down to... I think I'm going to save 900 here. I think I need to get a little stronger this next wave. So we're just going to buy these 2 items. And that also is a fairly convenient shopping trip as well. Spending exactly as much money as we could afford to while still saving 900. The other option there was just to buy the level 1 spear, and then I could save more money. Get even greedier on the piggy bank. Getting that loot alien kill was great, of course. So what we don't have right now is healing. That's the big thing that we're missing. We have some sort of healing because we have extra pickup radius from the cauldron, which makes us have effectively slightly better consumable healing, but we don't have any actual healing items. I'm gonna take the Dock Moth. I could recycle it, but we need healing items. I'll take the Fish Hook as well. You're gonna end up locking stuff a lot on this character. And then here, I could take 4 regen. We could double it with Dock Moth. I could take 7 crit chance, or roll for attack speed or armor. I think I'm gonna roll here, because attack speed and armor are so important. And I'm going to take the attack speed over the armor, because I think we need it to potentially kill the elite. We'll take 6 HP here. A cursed submachine gun. We have only 1% lifesteal, but a cursed weapon is always worth considering, even if it's not the weapon that you're mostly going with. This would mainly be for the fact that it provides really high lifesteal, but it also attacks quite quickly. I think I will take the cursed SMG here, and then I'm going to re-roll, and we'll level it up. And then I'm also going to spend down a little, because if I buy the Blood Leech, with 3% lifesteal and a cursed submachine gun, we have a lot better healing. So we've spent a little bit more money, unfortunately, but by buying a bunch of these items, we get to get a free reroll, spend down to 700 here, and that we're in pretty good shape. I could also take a level 3 Javelin. Javelin does also scale with melee damage, works well in combination with spears, because they're very similar weapons. I think I will take that, but I'm going to lock it before going to the next wave here. Even with only 3% lifesteal, a submachine gun is such a good healing item that I think we're going to have a slightly easier time against the elite just because we have it. Though, this elite on this wave is pretty dangerous. I mean, this is the hardest elite on the Abyss in general, I think. When we can fight it in our Dock Moth aura, we have a little bit of a better time here. Really wish I had Jerky or... get in the Moth aura here, and I think we can finish off the elite before the end of the wave, and we did get it. So that's pretty nice. A red item is a real gift to the saver, since they're usually going to be unplayably expensive on this character. And Anvil is incredible. So amazing find there. We'll take 10% more attack speed, and then I will go ahead and buy the Cursed Padding. And I think I will still buy the Javelin. Fish Hook didn't go off, but it's still worth buying there. I'll lock a Mouse, and I'll lock Baby Squid. Even this late Baby Squid is going to be pretty good. Hopefully they get cursed, and we'll go to the next wave. I love the way the Moth aura looks in the darkness waves, by the way. I think that that's just such a successful visual. A couple more points of lifesteal would go very well with our cursed submachine gun, and then maybe I could add in like one more, and that would be a very strong healing setup for us. We did add a bunch of ranged weapons, which is going to make the Abyss a little more scary, because now sometimes we're going to be killing a pufferfish with our Javelin or our SMG, and it's going to burst completely. And we'll maybe get extra spawns, extra lamprey spawns from the enhanced blobfish as well. Weird Food, great find. I could take 4 range damage to go with my cursed SMG, and I think I will. It's kind of weird because we have this item, so we ended up speccing into slightly different damage types, but the scaling on this is so good with range damage, even with just the one of it. And then I'm going to roll, and I'm going to take the Ritual as well. Yes, losing... we basically broke even on damage, and we're going to lose income growth, but the lifesteal is pretty important. Now we're up to 15% lifesteal. I'll lock metal. I'm going to lock the goldfish as well, and I'm going to reroll once, and we'll lock the spear. We'll lock handcuffs. This is actually perfect, because it buffs both of our weapon types as well. So hopefully it gets cursed. Even if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. But going up to 15% lifesteal with an SMG, obviously our other weapons can also lifesteal. They're not going to do it as often or as effectively, but they still can do it. Gives us a lot more healing. We're certainly not completely solved for healing or anything, but we're definitely in better shape. Gonna kill this tree. I didn't see where the loot alien went off to. It looks like it died, actually. I guess I hit it with a spear through a bunch of other enemies and didn't notice. Taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to kind of position in the corner for the end of the horde wave. And I would have loved to pick up some of those materials, but I didn't quite get there in time. I'll take a small magazine here, and then I will re-roll, and I'll pick up 8% more damage. And nothing got cursed, unfortunately. So what do I want to buy, given that none of these items got cursed? I really want to curse at least something here with our 20% pity bonus. Goldfish, I think I don't really need. And I'll buy the metal, and then I guess I'll re-roll here. And I'll re-roll again. I'll lock the butterfly, and then I'll just go to the next wave. I think we're strong enough for wave 15 to not be too dangerous right now, and I wanted to take another shot at cursing the items we have locked, because any of them cursed would be so powerful. Killing the enhanced blobfish here. Gotta get the enhanced hatcher as well. Get this enhanced blobfish kill. And I think we did get the extra lamprey spawns from that one. Cursed mouse giving us so many points of lifesteal is incredible, and also so many extra enemies allowing us to make a lot of money, so great find there. And then let's see if something got cursed here. I'm going to take 3 armor. I definitely need more of that. All right, unfortunately the worst items got cursed. But I'll buy, or the worst item got cursed. I'll buy the butterfly. I think I'm just gonna accept the handcuffs. And I should have bought that before buying the butterfly, because we do have padding, so I'm capping my HP at a lower amount. Because I could have bought the butterfly, bought them in the other order. I'm gonna pass on the spear here. I will buy the javelin, and then I'll re-roll, and I'll save 1400. I'm gonna lock Catling Gun, and we'll lock a Dock Moth as well, and I'll re-roll once for 20. I'll lock the Mastery, because if it gets cursed, it's very strong, and similarly Ugly Tooth. We won't buy Mastery if it doesn't get cursed, because although it increases the damage of most of my weapons, it does hurt my cursed SMG, which is doing a lot of our damage right now. But if it does get cursed, it will not only boost the damage of all of our other weapons by a lot, but reduce the penalty as well. This wave, of course, the main thing is to not get one-tapped by the cool walrus. And also to make sure that you're not letting any mini-bosses spawn. So you gotta kill the stargazers, you gotta kill the towers. And then we should be able to build quite a bit of curse and maybe get a few more cursed items to spawn as well. And strange book, we don't have any use for engineering, so we'll recycle that. Laser turret we'll recycle. I do want more luck, I want more regen, but I'm gonna roll here. I think I can do better. And I will take a 9 move speed upgrade. All right, the Mastery didn't get cursed. I'll buy Catling Gun. I'll buy Ugly Tooth. I think I don't want a Dock Moth at full price, so I'm going to roll past all this stuff. I'll buy the Cursed Goldfish. I'll buy the Loot Worm as well. I could level these two. It's break even on Anvil math. So the Anvil, of course, needs 2 waves to level these to level 4, or 2 waves to level the level 2 Javelin. So I think I'm going to pass on all that, and I'm just going to roll here. And focus, we have 3 different weapons, but if it does get cursed, it could be good. No, buying percent damage still bad on this character. Do I want a Thunder Sword? That's an interesting option, so it means I could also buy a knife or a shuriken, either of these being level 4, but I think the Thunder Sword is actually pretty good here. So I'm going to combine, I'm going to spend down to 1,200. We're not getting as greedy as I usually would on the Saver, but we've been offered some pretty important items. This way we get 4 armor from our Anvil, because we're going to we're guaranteed to level the Thunder Sword next wave. And then our Anvil will be giving us armor after that, because all our weapons will be level 4. And the Thunder Sword, I think, is just generally a fairly powerful weapon for us. So we've actually built all 3 damage types. Not what I would normally end up doing. This is such a weird run, but, you know, it's a weird character. Killing both of those enhanced blobfish at once, very dangerous. You always want to avoid killing 2 of those guys at the same time. Though this is, of course, a darkness wave, so it's a little harder. I've ended up with so much curse in this run as well. We have 60 curse. I'll take a defective steroids. I'll take 8 melee damage. I still do need more damage output. I will buy the bone dice. No, there's no way this pays off, even with the curse. Propeller hat. I think I do want some luck, because we have good consumable healing, and then I'm going to roll here. And we'll buy a butterfly. Yes, it reduces my elemental damage, but it's a good cursed item. I'll roll. And I'm going to roll again, and I'll save 1,600, I think. And that means I'm locking these 2. Even cursed, the ball and chain would ruin my SMG, so we can't really afford to buy that. And as you can see, the SMG is pretty important here. It's a big component of our ability to clear this elite, both by doing a ton of damage and by giving me a ton of lifesteal so that we can stay healthy while we're fighting it. I do think that the Saver, because you get so many fewer opportunities to actually buy items, especially early on, rewards adaptive play a little more. You have to be buying the right items, and that can often mean switching weapons in the middle of the run, building around like a powerful level 4 that you find in a box, building around a powerful cursed item that you find. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that in this run. I did walk into a bunch of attacks there and take a bunch of damage. All right, I'll take the focus here, of course. Losing 12% attack speed is bad, but the percent damage is good, and we'll take 15 attack speed to make up for it. Nothing got cursed here, so we're not going to buy either of them. Crown this late we don't want. I could take the mushroom, and I guess I will, and I'll take the goat skull as well. And another goat skull. I have negative engineering. We don't have a use for the nail, unfortunately. Scope reduces my attack speed and only buffs the SMG, so I think we'll pass on that. Do I want to save 1,900? I think I will. And then we'll probably spend down most of our money next wave. Obviously, only on things that are worth more than the percent damage that we get are, but most items at this point are still going to be more efficient than just holding our materials for percent damage. Especially because we have wisdom and focus, both boosting our percent damage fairly high, so if I can get boosts to our base damage, boosts to our survivability, those will be a lot more impactful overall. The Thunder Sword won't end up doing a lot of damage, mostly because it's pretty short-ranged, I think. But we might be surprised by how much damage it's doing. I'm going to check it at the end of this wave and see how it's doing on a normal wave. On the boss wave, it, of course, won't do as much because the AoE damage doesn't matter. I will take the Riposte. I'll take a Lemonade. That's great. We'll take 4 more melee damage. Excellent. So 1,600 there, 23k, 28k, 36k. Yeah, this is about what I would have expected. I'm going to roll past all this, and the nuclear launcher, will that help against the boss? I could sell my spear, but I think that's just going to make our damage lower. I will take the hedgehog here. That should increase our damage output. We'll take a penguin. Corrupted shard I don't want. It's just break even on damage. Gives me 1 curse, which is okay, but not super important. The insanity, I have -8 crit chance, so we don't want that. I will roll here and roll again. Once these rerolls become too expensive, we'll have to stop buying them. I guess I'll pick up a penguin, and then I'll roll again. Cursed spear, is that better than my level 4 spear? It isn't. It does... It has a better crit multiplier, but we have no crit chance. It has lower range and shorter or longer cooldown and lower damage, so the cursed level 1 spear just doesn't do anything. And then for 63, I'll reroll 1 more time, and then I think I basically have to stop rerolling here, because every time I'm rerolling, I'm losing 3% damage now. And we were happy to spend a little bit on lowering our percent damage, but looking for good items that increase our damage or survivability early. But now we just have to accept that it's too expensive to reroll. We're going to save our money and go into the fight. Taking a lot of hits here. Our Doc Moth aura should help keep us alive a little bit. I don't need to stay in it, except when I need to heal, of course. Trying to focus damage on the lower health elite. Or boss, rather. Then we can fight in our aura for now. 2 solid hits there that I took in a row. But that was a pretty clean win with the Saver. Definitely a difficult character. A really funny run as well. We ended up with a very weird setup. 3 different damage types, which is very unusual. Especially on a low economy character like this, but it's just how the shops actually broke. Obviously, our cursed SMG was by far the biggest damage contributor in the last wave, though our level 4 non-cursed javelin was very good as well. Looking at our items here, getting the wheelbarrow out of a box was really nice. We got 3,100 materials from Piggy Bank, which is a little low, I think, on the Saver. You usually end up with a little more, but we spent down a bit more in the mid-game than I typically would. We've got 400 from coupons, so those still paid off. We had okay results on the fish hook. I mean, I think it got the mouse and the baby squid, and even if it had just only hit those, and I think it got a couple other items as well, but even if it had only hit those 2, it would have still been an incredible fish hook, so the fact that we got those is great. We ended up with 23 lifesteal, 26 regen, so really good healing, and the Doc Moth actually was really nice here. I still don't like buying this at full health, or full price, but getting it out of a box for this character was great. It gave me a lot of very good healing options in the mid-game especially, and then was relevant in the late game. Our loot worm was bad, even though we're on Nightmare, I probably shouldn't have picked it up. Especially because I had the cauldron helping me pick up materials as well. And then finding the focus was good at the end as well, and obviously a cursed penguin's a lot of regen. So, very solid run with the Saver. Even if you don't find a cursed submachine gun, I do think that finding a good item to pivot into is something you should always have in mind on the Saver, though you can just go spears and javelins all the way through. But in this run, we got the option to switch into something else, and that's definitely worth having in your back pocket always. And I hope that this helps you win your Nightmare runs with this very difficult character. As always, my friends, if you have enjoyed the run, then feel free to leave a comment and hit that like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I've gotten so used to saying this that the irritation has kind of worn down, but I really do. I am sorry that I keep having to bug you about it, but it really does help, unfortunately. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel if you want more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.